Okay, let's be real. Who doesn't love free software? I mean, in a world where it feels like you need a subscription for literally everything, finding a powerful, free alternative can feel like a total game changer. And today, we're diving into one of the most popular free office suites out there because it's right in the middle of a huge debate.
And that brings us to the big question, right? When you're not paying with your wallet, what's the actual cost? We're going to unpack all of that by looking at a program that millions of people use, WPS Office.
So on one hand, you've got the giant, Microsoft 365, which, comes with that price tag. But on the other, you have WPS Office offering a really solid free version. For a lot of people, that choice seems like a no-brainer. But as you're about to see, it's way more complicated than that.
And you can totally see the appeal. I mean, we're talking over 500 million users. The interface feels almost exactly like Microsoft Office, so there's no learning curve. It's got a PDF editor built right in, and now it even has new AI tools. It's basically promising the whole package for $0. But this is where the story starts to take a pretty sharp turn. That promise of the perfect free tool, well, it started to unravel when users began reporting some really alarming issues. And we're not talking about your typical glitches or bugs here. This was something else entirely.
And this is the claim that just lit a match online. A novelist in China alleged that a massive manuscript, 1 million words they'd been pouring their life into, was suddenly locked by the software. The reason? A message popped up saying the file was against the regulations.
Now this is the detail that made everyone's ears perk up. The author wasn't saying a link they shared on the cloud was taken down. That kind of stuff happens. No, they were claiming the software reached directly onto their personal computer and locked their local file. That is a whole different level of intrusion.
So you've got this standoff. The user is saying, "You locked my file on my computer." But WPS officially came out and said, "Nope. All we did was block a shared online link because it was flagged for illegal content." It's a classic case of he said, they said.
But then, the plot thickens. The novelist followed up, saying that in private conversations, WPS customer service told a different story. They apparently admitted their automated system messed up, they confirmed the file was never actually shared, and they even apologized. So you have this huge gap between the public denial and the alleged private apology.
Okay, so if the potential censorship and privacy questions weren't enough, we're about to open a completely different can of worms. This one isn't about company policy, it's about straight-up technical security flaws.
All right, quick detour. We need to know this term, a zero-day vulnerability. Basically, think of it as a secret backdoor into a piece of software. The scary part is, the hackers find it and start using it before the good guys who made the software even know the door exists. It's pretty much the most dangerous kind of flaw you can have. And guess what? In 2024, a zero-day was found in WPS Office. So how bad was it? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10 for severity, it scored a 9.3. Yeah, that's deep in the critical danger zone.
And this wasn't just some theoretical problem. Cybersecurity researchers discovered that a state-sponsored hacking group was actively using this flaw. They were installing a brand new backdoor, which they named Spyglaze, onto people's computers, especially targeting users in East Asia, where the software is incredibly popular.
Now check out the timeline to get this fixed. The hacking starts in February. In March, the company, Kingsoft, rushes out a patch, but the patch itself was flawed and, get this, actually created a new security hole. It wasn't until May that they finally rolled out a version that was actually secure.
So this brings it all back to you, the everyday user. You're just trying to write a document or make a spreadsheet without breaking the bank. But now you have to weigh the undeniable convenience of free against some really serious risks. And this quote from a user on Reddit just perfectly sums up the problem. They run a writer's guild, they need something that works for collaboration, but they're on a tight budget. Is WPS Office worth the risk to save the money? That is the exact question millions of people are asking themselves. And whenever this conversation comes up, a few other names always get thrown into the mix. You've got LibreOffice, which people love because it's free and open source, but some find it can be a little clunky with Microsoft files. Then there's OnlyOffice, another great option with solid compatibility, though it comes from more of a corporate background. And then of course there's WPS, with its slick interface and all the baggage we just talked about.
So what can we actually do with all this information? Well, first off, whatever software you use, please always keep it updated. That's your first line of defense. Second, remember that when you use cloud features, you're playing by the company's rules.
Third, if privacy is your absolute #1 concern, open-source software like LibreOffice is usually considered the safest bet. And finally, it's really important to separate these two problems. One is about company policy and privacy, the other is about technical bugs and security. WPS Office has faced serious questions on both fronts.
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this simple trade-off. You're balancing the awesome convenience of a powerful free tool against the potential and very real risks to your personal